Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday. It is the optional memorial of Saint Ephraim. Have you ever heard of Saint Ephraim? A deacon of the church and a doctor of the church. So, as you know, what does that mean? A title called a doctor of the church. Well, you know, the word doctor has medical and academic influence. That word doctor, right? Connotation of academic and medical. Here, for us, is theological. It's theological. So even a person didn't have to have a PhD in theology, but still is a doctor of the church. Saint Therese, the little flower, doctor of the church. Saint Catherine of Siena, doctor of the church. Saint Ephraim, doctor of the church and a deacon. He was also a poet, also a very good homilist. Deacon Ephraim. Wonderful. I'm so happy to learn about the lives of saints who went before us. He lived in the 300s. Saint Ephraim, that's the early church. How beautiful. Let's read a little bit about Saint Ephraim. Ephraim was a Syrian theologian and a poet, see, there you are, who authored biblical commentaries, about a commentary on the scriptures, and homilies. He offered commentaries on homilies and also gave homilies. He composed hymns. Did you notice I said hymns, Susan, and not songs? Mm-hmm. I don't want to go through all that again, but you know the difference between a hymn and a song? Just say yes, because
yes.
I want you all to know as Catholics, there's a difference between a hymn and a song. A hymn has theological weight. A hymn has theological weight. A song, it's about feelings. Nothing more than feelings. It's feelings, it's emotional songs, that is, like about God, about the spiritual life. But a hymn is theological. It teaches the faith. A song doesn't necessarily teach the faith, but a hymn does. A hymn teaches the faith. Saint Ephraim. He composed hymns that are used today by the Syriac liturgy. Not the Roman Catholic liturgy, because the Catholic Church has many rites. You know that, don't you? It's divided into two lungs, the East and the West. And the Western, of course, the church that we're affiliated with, the Catholic Church of the West, is a little bit different from the East, okay? A little bit different from the East. But the Catholic Church has many rites. I know you and I probably think you're so accustomed to thinking that the Catholic Church only has this rite, the rite of the Roman Catholic Church, and our liturgy, and the way that we celebrate the sacraments. That's not the case. That's not the case of the entire global Catholic Church. Father Badeau, do you remember Father Badeau that he used to help us here? Mm-hmm. Well, he was Byzantine of the East. I'm Father Bellopede from the West. But we're both Catholic priests. And the Byzantine Mass is celebrated differently than the Roman Catholic Mass of the West. but we're both Catholic, and they're both Catholic masses. Go figure. So when you hear about Ephraim, and you hear about the Syriac liturgy, and you hear about like Ephraim composed hymns, and you're like, I never heard a hymn composed by Saint Ephraim. Probably you wouldn't, because we're so used to hymns of the West. We wouldn't be singing hymns from the East. They're different, and then most people will be complaining. What's this? What's that? I don't know. This song is goofy. Yeah. So we'll be complaining because we're not part of that culture. We're not part of that culture. He founded a theological school near modern-day Turkey. He lived in Mesopotamia, also known as the heart of the Spirit. Ephraim, a deacon and a doctor of the church. I always say when we talk about doctors of the church, I always say, they're the people that have brains to sell. Because they really are intuitive. They really understand and are able to articulate. And I'm not saying that all these doctors have a PhD in theology. No. They're able to take everything and spit it out. And make the common man and the intellectual guy or woman understand it without a problem. A doctor of the church. St. Ephraim. Today we celebrate his optional memorial. Isn't that nice? So let's go on to what we've been discussing about the Roman Catholic liturgy. We're going to the Offertory. The Offertory of the Mass. Most people think it's collection time. Well, in the early church, how that all developed, you know what I mean? There wasn't collections in the early church, right? It was supposed to be basically food, livestock, things like that to keep everything going, feed people, making sure that they had enough for what was needed for the community. You know, that was the beginning of it. That was the beginning. That's what they brought up. They brought up things in the offertory procession that you and I would think, what? Yeah, they didn't. That all developed into now an envelope where you put money in the envelope and, you know, here, Father, please take care of the parish. You know, Father has to pay the bills. Father has to make sure everything looks nice. Father has to make sure that people are paid and all that. Well, back in the day, there was none of that going on. None of that kind of money exchange. Maybe some people, but it wasn't by the majority. It was all like food and vegetables and livestock. And that slowly ended. And then it was also, you know, part of the treasury is the time, talent, and treasure. You know, Susan is our director of stewardship, right? And stewardship, if you want to understand Christian stewardship, you understand it with the T's, the 3 T's, which is really the cross. It's all centered around Jesus. There's a theology to stewardship. Susan could probably explain this to you, but since I'm here, I'll help her. There's a theology in stewardship because it's giving back to God. It's giving to God through your time, you know? And some people did not have money to give. Back in the day, they had 10 kids. What are they going to give? They can't give anything. But hey, my sons can help here. My daughter could do this. We'll give you our time, Father. So stewardship is about time. And you know, Susan, being the director of stewardship here at St. Mary's, she always looks for people to give of their time. You know, we're having the feast, we're having the flea market, we're having I need someone to help me. Can you help me with your time? Can you give me like 3 hours on Memorial Day? That's all I'm asking. Can you sell 50-50? So, back in the day, when people had large families, they could not give money, but they gave time. So stewardship is not always about money. It's about, I'm here. I'm here. What do you need me for? What do you need me for? I will give you my time. I will help you. The second T in stewardship is talent. Susan meets a lot of people that do this for a living, do that for a living, and she says, wow, we need that. Would you be able to help us with that? Oh, sure, I never knew that. Well, there's where relationships are built. People talk to one another, and those people with these talents that God gave them can help the parish community. That's kind of nice. We have a licensed electrician who is retired, and he says to us, here I am. I will give you my talent. I want to give back. I want to give back to God. So I'm giving you my time and my talent. So either Susan, Mary Beth, they connect with these people. And they say, we could use you. Where have you been? I'm here. I just, sometimes people come in your life and out. Same thing with the parish. They come in and they come out. God gives us people. It's beautiful. So time, talent, and treasure. Some people say, Susan, I cannot be here. I cannot be here. And this is the truth. But here's $500. Here's $750. I'll sponsor this event. But I can't be here because I'm away on a business trip, or we're away during that month and we're not home. But here you are. Do you see how time, talent, and treasure is an offering to God for the good of the work of the church? Because the church depends on donations. You know what the word donation means, right? It comes from the Latin word to mean gift. That's where the word donation comes. It's a Latin word that means gift. The gift you were given, give as a gift. Isn't that beautiful? The gift you were given, now give as a gift. Time, talent, treasure. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's how parishes survive. Parishes survive that way. We look at people's talent. Susan's a graphic designer. She has brains to sell with all the designing and all that. Talented people. Susan studied in Rome. I don't know if you guys know that. But I'm telling you about all of our people. Look at Sandy. She's the office manager. She's my administrative assistant. She's the parish's coordinator of safe environment. All checks. Police checks. Abuse checks. Criminal background. Sandy does all that. All of that. A very talented person. But when you look at all of our people, look at Peggy. She's the head sacristan. Another woman who has brains to sell. You would never know it because she doesn't come off officious, but she knows more than her prayers. And she steps up to the plate. Talk about time and talent. Peggy has saved this parish so much money by her time and her talent. You all know that. You know all these people that work here. They're not doing it for the job. They're doing it because they're all in. You know, you ask anybody around here because they love St. Mary. They love St. Mary. I do what I do because I love St. Mary, I'll tell you. Time, talent, treasure. The 3 T's, or the 3 crosses, all because of Christ. And that's how you build up a parish community. You gather God's people around you. And some can do this, some can do that, some can do that. And we're thankful. So you see how that all works? So the Offertory of the Mass was a development to where it is now. But that doesn't mean that we don't still need other things than just money. We need people. We need their time. We need people coming to give worship to God. We want people to come to Mass. We want our church filled every weekend. Because we have the best gift to offer, Jesus Christ. The best gift to offer. Don't get ever tired of Jesus Christ. Don't ever say, heard that, done that. Don't ever do that. Ever ancient, ever new, like St. Augustine said. We need people with talents. I told you that in 5 years we're going to be celebrating our 100th anniversary. Do you know how many committees I have to form? I have to form many committees because I need people to give time, talent, and treasure, but I need it as we celebrate our 100th anniversary. But I need people like, I'm thinking of even the liturgy. I would like instruments. I would like brass and trumpets and oboes and timpani and all of that at the celebration of Mass. I know there's people out there that have that talent. I need people who can sing and lead song. I know there's people out there. You know what it is? A lot of people, and Susan can tell you this, a lot of people want to be asked. They don't necessarily read the bulletin or read the website. They just want someone to come up to them and say, hey, would you do this for us? I heard you're good at, you play a good trumpet. You know, we're having our 100th anniversary. Would you be able to like, you know? Sure, I could do that. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Invite. Invite. Welcome. Can you help us? Inviting and welcoming people to Mass. We know people when they come here, most especially. So there's a lot going on. Lots of things going on. Tomorrow the 8th graders will be graduating. Tomorrow night. It's our 59th graduating class. 59th graduating class we're putting through St. Mary's. Wow. Gee, that means that September starts our 60th year. That's great, isn't it? To have a parochial school for 60 years? You don't hear about that anymore. They're closing schools. They're closing parishes. We're going to be 95 in September, and we're going to be 95 as a parish. And 60 years as a school. Isn't that beautiful? You should give yourself some love. Give yourself some love. That's beautiful. So, it's important to know this as a parishioner. It's important to embrace it. It's important to give of yourself for the good of the church, which is the good of Christ. Right? So, make sure you read the bulletin this weekend. Our chapel air conditioning and heating system went. It died. So, I'm asking again for kindness. We have to replace the HVAC in the chapel. And according to Archdiocesan policy, you have to have 3 bids. You have to have 3 bids. You have to look at all that. You have to check it over with the business manager, who sometimes bring it to the chair of the finance council. And then I bring it to you. I just say, well, it died. You might ask me, did you see if they could replace a part? Or we did. It's just totally expired. We've done it over and over again. The church was built in '84. And I've told you this before, everything's expiring. I mean, it's 2021, right? So everything is like the doors. We had to have the doors replaced because they were the originals. We had to stop band-aiding the roof and the gutters and the parapet and the limestone. That was all expired. And now the chapel air conditioning and heating system went. So, if by any chance you're able to help, it's in the bulletin this week and in my column, okay? Speaking about time, talent, and treasure. So, whatever you do, I am very appreciative. But sometimes I don't know what's going to go next. And as you're moving along, just trying to make ends meet day to day, I can't predict the HVAC in a chapel is going to completely die, and and the guy says to me, we're done replacing. First of all, we don't make these parts anymore. Second of all, it's done. It's over. There's no more fixing. It's going to be foolish to fix it because you might as well just get a new one. So we're at that point. But I say it with love and kindness. I always do, and I mean that because you're so very kind. So if by any chance you're able to help us, please help us. If you're not, would you pray that people may know about this project and help us? And I also put in the bulletin that if you want to know what the total price is, to call Mary Beth, and she'll tell you the total price. Because we do have people that says, well, before I make a donation to it, can you tell me what the entire total price is? Because if I can afford that, then let me just do it. So, call Mary Beth. She'll have the total price for you. Okay, guys? Well, thank you. Thank you for coming into my office again and talking about St. Ephraim, deacon and doctor of the church, talking about many things in the life of the parish. Asking God to bless you and your families. And please, if you're not back to church, it's time to come home. The Archbishop has asked all the pastors and all the staffs of our parishes to invite people back. So on behalf of everybody that works here, and Deacon Don and Father Keene and myself, I cordially and warmly welcome you home to your second home, our shared home, your parish, St. Mary. Have a nice day, everybody.